This is Eren Yeager. In Season 1, Episode 4 of Attack on Titan, Eren and the rest of our main characters enjoy a relatively nice day working atop the wall. Unfortunately, they are suddenly jolted back to harsh reality with the appearance of the large and terrifying Colossal Titan. Rather than fleeing, however, Eren remembers that this is the same Titan that killed his mom and destroyed his home 5 years ago, and his response is this. This is Eren Yeager. And I say that not only because this is literally the character standing here, but this entire beautiful epic sequence, from his soar through the sky to his phenomenal 1080 spin before he lands and rises to face the Colossal Titan, eyes full of determination, completely unafraid of his gigantic foe. In a way, it looks almost less like a David vs. Goliath situation and more like a hunter stalking his prey. That is Eren Yeager, a hunter. After 3 or 4 seasons, I don't think I can think of a single scene that better explains or declares what the series' main character represents than this one sequence in its first season. This is the scene that I think of whenever I think of Eren Yeager, the hero, the hunter, the legend. And it becomes even more impressive when you compare it to the exact manga panel it's been adapted from, to which the studio inserted extra layers and mini sequences to, even though the panel itself was already really damn good. And it's this aspect of Attack on Titan's visuals that I wish to talk about today. Because despite how I may decide the title of this video will be, I don't believe it's fair to say that Attack on Titan is anything less than phenomenally animated, even at its worst. But it's also hard not to see some of the areas where I believe the animation quality and attention to details has decreased over the years, at least in certain areas. In my opinion, a lot of this clearly comes down to the difference in production between the first season and every season after. Now, full disclaimer, I have never, nor will I ever claim to be an expert on animation, studio wit, or the intricate production history of Attack on Titan, but to me it's clear that there have been very subtle stylistic and adaptational changes to the way the show looks ever since Season 2, that I think are worth looking into. Now, does the series look maintain the standard of the first season in its best moments? Yes. Absolutely, 100%. Heck, in certain areas it's clear that the series has actually very much improved. Just look at this one scene from near the end of Season 2, when Eren activates his coordinate ability for the first time. Absolutely fantastic. And none of this is even to speak for the extraordinarily rendered OD maneuver gear Sakuga sequences, of which there are many. It's rather in between these moments that I start to really have issues with Attack on Titan's animation in its later seasons. It feels like many of the more mundane scenes are animated with at least a slightly lower number of frames per second, and the adaptational quality is significantly lessened. And another issue is that there are plenty of moments like this from Seasons 2 to Seasons 3 Part 2, with the general story having much more conversation and dialogue as opposed to action, at least in comparison to the earlier seasons. Plus, overall I just can't help but feel like even some of the better animated sequences later on still can't quite compare to the same raw, energetic punch and buoyancy of the animations in the original 24 episodes. I honestly don't blame you if you've never noticed this before, neither did I for years, but it becomes especially apparent to me anytime I see the odd YouTube video that uses clips from both seasons of the show. Now, to make things short, I want to ask exactly why Attack on Titan's still great animation has changed like this, And I think it comes down to two reasons. I think the first and most obvious reason to account for Attack on Titan's general change in style is the time difference between the release of the first and second seasons. While the show exploded in popularity in 2013, anime-only fans were not granted a sequel season until 2017, a grueling 4 years later. That is first and foremost a long time between production schedules for Studio Wit to change and evolve, be it due to new staff coming in or old staff leaving, or possibly just due to a general style change through experimentation over the years. Again, I'm not the most qualified to answer this. This could have been due to the studio arguably jumping the gun in the first season and needing to wait for some time before the manga got ahead, which is a very common problem. The second major reason I believe is a general change in the adaptational approach of Studio Wit. There are typically two ways in which the visuals of any manga or light novel is adapted into an anime. Number one is a more direct approach, which entails bringing the panels of the manga to life in a more direct sense. And while this can be responsible for plenty of phenomenal adaptations, which are arguably some of the greatest anime of all time, the animators don't seem extra concerned about contributing much beyond what they've been given to work with, and don't add a whole lot of extra content, which is again usually just fine. Number two is where the animators usually just do number one, but in addition to that, go pretty extra and balls to the wall in regards to the animation, storyboarding, and content of the source material. They do the most. Think of a panel of Naruto simply scratching Sasuke down into the water, turning into an absolute iconic beatdown sequence of punches, or any of My Hero Academia's incredible Sakuga-filled moments, just to name a few. And hey, I appreciate both styles, but to me it's clear that Attack on Titan has transitioned much more into this first style of doing things over the years than the second style, with seasons 2 and 3 notably including a lot of the more heavy, scratchy line work of the original manga artists, which they seem to have mostly erased in the first season. This change of style also affects the lighting choices, which I believe were much more beautifully rendered and menacing in season 1, to make sequences more energetic and also to give the Titans an arguably more haunting and grandiose feel. And I'm occasionally more impressed by the spacing and camera work of the first season than in later seasons. Now, based on what I've said, let's compare two sequences from two different seasons. Again, I love both, and I don't even know if I have a favorite between the two, but at least for now, I want to primarily highlight in these clips the change in style. Again, while the animation is still pretty darn commendable, it's hard for me not to miss the all-around beautiful renditions of the first 24 episodes. To the point where you could just show me different clips from either of the seasons, and I would probably be able to tell you with confidence which ones are from season 1 and which ones are from seasons 2 and 3. Again, seasons 2 and 3 look beautiful. It really is just that season 1 looks just that darn amazing in comparison. And I honestly just wish the later seasons would try just a little bit harder in replicating the same visually gasmic, atmospheric scenes of the first season. Alas, the animators may have grown at least a little too complacent over time due to season 1's immense success. Alas, Attack on Titan reportedly has one more season left to air before this monstrously successful epic comes to an end. Despite my complaints, I have mostly nothing but praise for the jaw-dropping, incredible writing of the series, which is arguably much more important and vital to the show's success. Don't get me wrong, the story and characters are fuego. I'm in no way any less excited to see how this legendary series comes to a finish. However, while it may be asking too much, I know I certainly wouldn't mind the final season, or at least the final part of the final season, that, from an animation standpoint, absolutely eclipses or matches even both of the previous styles combined. Is it asking for too much? Maybe so. But hey, they have done it before. As always, thanks for watching. Hello everybody, thank you for watching my little YouTube video. As always, let me know your thoughts down below, whether you agree with what I said or disagree, and leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.